Welcome to the Brick Prof. This is video 2. So, first video I mentioned some advent calendars. So we've got these advent calendars here. These are 2021 advent calendars. So for some reason we sort of had these sitting around for a couple of years. We had quite a few of them. So as I say, I sold a few on eBay on the run up to Christmas for obvious reasons. It's an advent calendar. We've got a few left, so I'm not going to wait until next December because these are quite big and bulky and they just take up loads of space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to part them out. It's a little bit inefficient because I haven't got that many left. So I've got one Harry Potter. I've got two 76196, which is the Avengers one. So two of those. One City one. Kind of neat, that one actually. I like that one. And then finally one of the Star Wars one. Who doesn't like a Mando in a Christmas jumper and a scarf, hey? And look at Grogu there. Beautiful. Anyway, so we will part those out. I thought I'd already done this with some of these, and I managed to find the parts, but it wasn't actually one of these. It was the Guardians of the Galaxy one, 7631. So minifigures are gone. These are just the parts themselves that sort of left over. So we'll do that. We may as well do that at the same time, given that we're doing advent calendars. So let's get all that parted out. We'll get the minifigures into bags and we'll check back in again in a moment. So here we have the Star Wars advent calendar. I've just taken that apart. See Grogu, Mando with his Christmas jumper, a few stormtroopers, scout troopers, etc. Tusken Raider, and then there's all the parts. So as usual with Star Wars, some quite nice colours actually. You know, the kind of usual light bluish grey, dark bluish grey, black, white, etc. All stuff that sells pretty well on Bricklink. It's a shame we don't have a couple of these because it would have made the parts again more efficient. But there you go. I'll probably just leave these minifigs in these bags actually, given that they're sealed and unassembled. I may as well just do that. I'll pop these on Bricklink, and I'll get all these parted out into the separate bits. Okay, so just a quick comment on this. I'm actually parting this out in a completely different way to the way that I would normally do it. So there's so many individual parts. I'm not going to have a pot for each one. It's just a total waste of time. All I'm going to do is I'm going to separate them into colours. That'll be much faster when I get the inventory up on Bricklink, on Brickstore I should say, and sort of pull in my draw numbers for existing parts. I'll show what I'm going to do shortly. Okay, so that's all of the parts settled. So you can sort of see what I've done now. So basically where there are colours that there aren't many parts of, so for example green, hardly any parts at all, so I just pop them all in one pot. Just makes it pretty fast because, you know, you don't want to be doing this when there's only one set. You've got to try and just get things done as quickly as possible. Same for medium blue. You know, the parts where there's a lot more colours, sorry, where there's a lot more like light bluish grey, I've tried to, you know, separate into a few different pots, but you know, I know what's here. I can do this pretty quickly without having to put everything into a different pot, as you would normally do if you had 3 or 4 sets or even more, for example. We'll get the inventory up in a moment and I'll show what we're doing. Okay, so here we've got the Advent Calendar 2021. I've imported all the individual days for the set, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to part out all of those, but not the minifigures. So I'm going to keep the minifigures as they are. So right click on those, part out item, and that will part out all of those in the set. Say new, it will ask me for each one. Okay, so I'm doing that on each individual day that I want to import. Now I've just noticed I've excluded extra parts there, so I'm going to have to be careful when I do that and see how many of each part we've got, because I know there are some extra parts in this set. Now, of course, now we've got all the individual parts for the set. We've got individual minifigures here. Okay. And so what I'm going to do now, I've got my store inventory. Okay. And so what I'm going to do, I want to bring across the remarks, okay, from my store. So if I go to copy values from document and copy values from the store, and then it's already set up to copy across the remark. Okay, and what that does is that tells me which of these parts I've already got in the store, and it tells me where they are. Okay, so when it comes to putting them away, I can now do this really easily. Now I've sorted these, as you can see, by colour generally. That's an easy thing to do in this specific case. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to order this by colour. So I'm going to go through the parts and just literally put them in individually. Now, of course, it puts all the minifigures here first. Okay, so away we go. Check back in a minute. Okay, so that's all that put away. Took far too long. That's why I hate parting out just one set. It's worth it for the minifigures with this, and that's why I just tried to sell them as advent calendars at the Christmas period. I'm half tempted, actually, to be honest, in the future, when you have just one set like this, just to literally throw it all into the bulk bin to sort through. I wonder whether that actually is kind of more efficient. I know you'd probably end up just getting used prices, because I wouldn't then obviously sell it as new. But to be honest, for the time it takes to part out one set and put everything away, I think that's probably worth it. Let's just highlight this, and then we'll just price this up. Okay, so this is set price to the average 6 months. What comes out? £65. That's pretty good. It's actually a lot more than I expected. So these were selling on eBay for about £30, £32 Christmas period. So not too bad. Obviously it's much easier to sell as one bulk set, but these minifigures are pretty cool as well, and probably will sell. And you know, this brings in probably about another 30 lots to the store, so all in all not too bad. I'll think about what to do with these other minifigures, other advent calendars. I've got 2 of the Marvel ones, it's definitely worth parting that out. That's pretty efficient. City and Harry Potter, not so sure. We'll ponder on that one. Okay, it's bye for now. Okay, so just to comment on that price, I was a bit suspicious of that price, and of course when I look back, this top Scout Trooper, look, £18, very suspicious about that. So I went to Bricklink, looked up this minifigure, and okay, so it sold once for £18, but that was in the US. It seems as if that was not available at all in the US. There's 5 available in the UK, but none of those have sold through. So I was right to be suspicious of that. There's no point in me trying to sell that for £18. It's not going to happen. So I'll probably set it about £5 or £6, see if that shifts. And I will now also just check over the prices of the other minifigures, just to check if these are actually realistic prices to sell. No point having stuff on sale for Bricklink if it's not going to sell, right? The whole point is to sell through. So if you're just going to have it sitting in your cupboard for the next 4, 5, 6 years, that's not the aim of the game, not in my book anyway. So let's see what happens. I'll update these figures right now. Okay, so further interesting update that I've realised when looking into this. So these aren't listed as figures, this is the problem. So these are listed as a day of the advent calendar. So you click onto the catalogue entry and look for the set inventory, and then it lists a minifigure. And then of course if you go into the minifigure, this now does actually sell. So it sells, but it sells as a minifigure, not as the advent calendar. So you're much better off obviously listing it as the minifigure. Okay, there's no point in listing it as the advent calendar day. So I'm going to just address that and reprice it, but based on the minifigure code. So here SW1116 for the Scout Trooper rather than... Okay, so that's all sorted now. realistic prices for these minifigs, all sorted with the proper minifig codes, and so this is all going to be uploaded. So let's just select all, oops, select all I should say, I'm going to go and export, mass uploads clipboard. Okay, and we're going to consolidate lots, the new price, new remarks, copy that in there, and verify file. Okay, so let's see what that comes out with. Just have a very quick check through. Yep, okay, that looks good. Fantastic. Right, I'll be uploading this in the next few minutes. Okay, so that's all done, all uploaded. It was about 52 quid in the end. As I said earlier, it took far too long. So probably what I'll do, I'm pretty convinced that's the most efficient way to do this now actually. I'm going to take the minifigs out of these. Maybe the Marvel one I'll part out both of these and do that properly, but the other two, I'm just going to take the minifigs out, list those, throw all the other stuff in bulk bins, because the time it takes to separate, put it all away is just far too much. So I'm convinced I'm going to do that. You know, I'm much more in for efficiency than everything being sort of perfectly done. I've just literally parted out 4 sets of a hidden side set that I bought 2-3 years ago. That's been sitting around, so there's some good parts in there actually, some good colours, lots of light bluish grey, lots of black, lots of white. So I'm going to get those uploaded, and for now that's the Advent Calendar part out video done. Okay, see you in the next one.